Look, we need to have a serious talk about the American motorcycle dealership. The market is a brutal judge of character right now. We don't buy transportation here. We buy toys and identities. If a brand can't figure out how to be an American icon, they end up as a footnote. Today, we're looking at 5 brands that are currently on life support in the U.S. Brands that misread our market so badly, they're basically waving the white flag. First, the enigma that is Royal Enfield. Now, before the enthusiast crowd reminds me about the new Himalayan 450 or the Shotgun 650, yes, I know they are expanding. On paper, Enfield is doing everything right. But here is the American reality check. They are still fighting a massive beginner bike stigma. In a country where bigger is better is written into our DNA, selling 40 horsepower bikes is an uphill battle. We have interstates where the slow lane moves at 85 mph. While the new 450s are a huge step up, Enfield is still perceived as a budget brand in a luxury market. People want to pull up to bike night and feel like a boss. Pulling up on a bike that costs less than a used Honda Civic is a tough sell for the ego-driven American rider. They aren't leaving, but they are stuck in a niche. Unless they can convince Americans that small is cool, they'll remain a boutique brand shouting for help. Next is Suzuki. This one hurts. Suzuki is the quiet quitter of the motorcycle world. They've given us a couple of bright spots recently. The V-Strom 800 and GSX-8S are actually excellent bikes, but compare their entire lineup to what Kawasaki, Yamaha, or Honda are doing, and it's clear Suzuki is running on fumes. 2 decent bikes don't make up for a decade of neglect across the rest of the range. Walking into a Suzuki dealer still feels like a trip to a museum. While European brands are putting radar-guided cruise control on everything, Suzuki's big news for years was new paint. They have the engineering power to dominate, but they seem content to let their legendary nameplates gather dust. They're like a legendary rock star who refuses to write new music and just tour the county fair circuit playing the hits from 1995. Then we have the tragic story of Energica. This is the electric reality check. As of late 2020, Energica, the brand that literally powered Moto E, officially entered bankruptcy liquidation. This is the canary in the coal mine for electric motorcycles. Energica proved that you can build the fastest, most advanced electric bike in the world. But if the American infrastructure is a mess and the price tag is $30,000, it won't sell. The American rider isn't ready to trade the smell of gasoline for a charging cable. If you own an Energica, hang on to your service manual, because finding a technician who can fix your Italian electric supercar is about to become an impossible mission. Moving on to Norton. For years, Norton was a ghost, but they are currently attempting a massive Hail Mary. Under new ownership from the Indian giant TVS, they just revealed a 2026 lineup including the Atlas adventure bike and the Manx Supersport. They're even offering a wild 3-year unlimited mileage warranty to prove they aren't the broken British brand anymore. But here's the problem. They're trying to sell modern luxury to a market that has already been captured by Triumph. Norton has almost zero dealer presence in the U.S. heartland. They are a brand on life support, kept alive by Indian capital, but with almost no pulse at the local level. They're betting that a fancy logo and a touchscreen can win over riders who haven't seen a Norton dealership in 20 years. Finally, we have to look at Ural. For decades, Ural was the quirky choice, the Russian sidecar rig for the guy who wanted to go camping in the snow. But the world changed. Even though they moved production to Kazakhstan, the traditional Boxer twin models now cost between $20,000 and $24,000 for a machine based on a 1940s BMW design that struggles to keep up with traffic. To their credit, Ural is making a last-ditch effort with the Neo 500, a Chinese-built, modern sidecar launching in May 2026 for under $15,000. It's a complete departure from their classic lineup. Fails, Ural in America is done. They're betting the entire company on convincing Americans that sidecars can be affordable and practical. But younger riders aren't interested in the vintage military look, and older riders are buying Can-Am Spyders. Ural is a brand fighting for survival, and the Neo 500 is their Hail Mary pass. So, why does this matter? Because motorcycling in America is thinning out. The brands that survive are the ones that actually listen to what we want. If you're shopping for a bike, Look beyond the shiny paint and ask, will this company still be in my city in 5 years? Because a rare bike is only cool until it breaks, and then it's just an expensive paperweight.